Still on seaports, so in page 10, we can see that you can see a picture of a container here. They are explaining to us container ships carry goods in shipping containers, which allow for rapid loading and unloading. Many ports have container terminals that are equipped with cranes designed to lift containers. So once unloaded, containers can be stacked ready to reload onto another ship. Containers can also be loaded onto trucks or train. Remember the articulated trucks, they can carry containers, or trains. Containers are standard sizes, which makes them easy to manage. So shipping containers can also be brought to ports on railway wagons and trucks, making them a flexible means of transporting goods. So there's that flexible again. So containers are flexible means of transporting goods for export. So just to note, articulated trucks can be carried on car ferries, which can allow for flexibility. So there's that word again. So in this industry, it is important. It is one of the key success factors, the critical success factors. You have to offer flexibility to your client, to the customers. And these are the things that can give you the flexibility, depending on the kind of goods that wants to be transported by your client. Articulated trucks can be carried on car ferries, so which can allow for flexibilities. Car ferries are under the sea transportation. In making sea crossings that are served by ferry routes. So remember, ferry routes are these are sea transportation are usually useful for long distance transportation, where you have to transport goods from maybe one country to another, not within Roundland. There are 6 major ferry ports on Roundland's south and east coast, and all are used by trucks to carry freight between Roundland and foreign destination. Roundland is a large island that has no road or rail links to other countries. So we just mentioned it now. So when you want to transport goods from one country to another, it must be by sea because there are no road or rail links to other countries. So it's important to note. So most 3PL logistic providers can manage the documentation associated with imports and exportation and exports by sea. So the admin part of it as well is also another advantage for using 3PL logistic providers. So the admin part of it as well is also another advantage. Remember, we talked about advantages of 3PL above when we're looking at 3PL and the types of logistic providers. In addition to making the necessary arrangement to charter ships or to organize the carriage of shipping containers by sea, they can provide and manage the documentation aspect, all of the custom papers, the regulatory paperwork, the bill of lading, the certificate of quantity, certificate of quality, the supercargo, all of those things. They can manage it. All the people that are going to be checking for the quality, the quantity surveyors, and all the different stakeholders that are involved in the administration of the logistics. 3PL providers can do all of that. And that is why people want to go with 3PL providers, because they give you that peace of mind that they will handle it. All you have to do is to just pay their invoices, and you can be rest assured that everything will be done. And that's one of the things that will be tested. Can clients be rest assured that this truck will perform and will deliver on time? So these are things that we might likely expect in the exam. They might just test one or two things just to see the arguments that you come up with. So all of these things must be at the back of your mind. Air freight. Freight can be carried by air, either on dedicated cargo or in holds of passenger aircraft alongside the luggage. Air freight is generally suited to high-value goods that are small enough to be carried economically. So high-value goods In the unseen, if we are giving anything high value, immediately you start thinking of air freight. High value that are small enough to be carried economically. So it depends. Or you remember we talked about one of the critical success factors in this industry, planning, implementation, and control. How do you plan the movement of or the flow of goods from one location to another to reduce costs and maximize profit, maximize value? So planning for high value goods, then we go for air transport. It also depends on the cost. So if it is too expensive, or it depends if the customer is willing to accept the goods at a later date, we might decide to take it by sea, maybe if it is going to be cheaper for us. So all of these things are the things that logistics companies have to deal with. How do you plan? How do you manage flows? It may also be necessary to consider air freight for the transportation of goods that are either urgent and perishable. So if the goods are urgent and perishable, then we might begin to consider air freight. For example, fresh fruits and vegetables account for 10% of the weight of air freight arriving around land. Fresh fruit and vegetables. So if we have clients that want to move fresh fruit and vegetables, then we need to be considering air freight. Some varieties must be imported from countries with warmer climates and must be flown rather than shipped because they are unsuitable for freezing and will not remain edible for the duration of the sea voyage. So whatever it is that we are transporting is the one that will determine the mode of transportation. So the goods that we are going to be transporting will determine if we are going to use air or ship or sea transport. Cargo aircraft are configured to carry only freight. They can accommodate large items that are required urgently. So that is that urgency again. And so cannot be transported by overland or by ship or large volumes of pallets, such as high-value electronics that must be transported quickly and securely. So there's that speed again, quickly and securely. So those are the things that are associated with air freight: urgency, quickly, securely, urgency, perishable. All of those things are the things, when you see these keywords, then you are thinking of air freight. It is possible to charter a cargo aircraft for a single urgent load once again. So anything that is urgent, we are already thinking of air freight. And or for regular deliveries of an item that requires speed again, and security again of air freight. It is also possible to book consignments of freight onto the cargo aircraft operated by the major courier companies. Those companies have regular flights between major transport hubs in most industrialized countries. Most air freight is carried in the holds of passenger aircraft. Airlines do not require all their hold space for passenger luggage. As you can see, all of their hold space, they do not require all of it. So sometimes we might just make use of passenger aircraft to move things from one place to another, depending on the urgency required. Airlines do not require all the hold space for passenger luggage and can generate significant additional revenue by carrying cargo. Yes, they do. Goods must fit onto the standard pallets used for air freight, these standard pallets that are used, and clear the door to the aircraft hold. All large airports are equipped to handle freight. It is possible to transfer freight between aircraft on connecting flights when there is no direct flight between a load's origin and its final destination. So you can also use connecting flights depending on how you want to manage that logistics. If it will make sense for you to use a connecting flight in terms of cost and time, then you can use it. It can be complicated to manage air freight, however. Many 3PL providers work with third-party specialists. Once again, this word again, specialist. So many 3PL providers work with third-party specialists to deal with clients' needs.